got laid off yesterday and I'm literally shaking talking about this. I really debated whether or not I was going to even post about this, and I decided ultimately that this was probably a journey that I should share with you guys, especially because of the macroeconomic environment right now. There are a lot of layoffs happening, so if you have gone through a layoff recently, I'm right there with you. Majority of yesterday to obviously process what had happened, especially because it came out of nowhere. Absolutely no warning was provided. A meeting was just put on my calendar the day of for 3:30, and my manager and HR hopped on the call and they literally said, "We're gonna have to let you go. We're tightening some things up." Surprisingly, I did not cry. It was obviously very disappointing, but honestly, I had felt like I was not in the right place for the majority of the past year that I had been in this job, but I had been pretty much trying to force it, and I think the universe was definitely just saying, "Grace, it is time for you to move on." I also definitely had an identity crisis. If you guys know me, you know that I take a lot of pride and joy in my ability to be a really hard worker and a good worker as well. In the company that I was at previous to this company, I was a top performer. I literally closed 100% of my deals. Like, a big part of my identity, it does lie in being really good at my job. And I'm realizing that that's probably something that I should work to take out of my identity, because at the end of the day, we are so much more than our jobs. There is a saying that basically says, if a flower is not blooming, you don't change the flower, you move the environment that it's in. And I think the reason that I'm able to take this so calmly is because I know that something really amazing is about to come my way. I think that if something similar has happened to you, it's really important right now for you not to take this personally. It is not your fault if a company is not able to effectively manage their finances or has overhired or any other issues that ultimately trickle down to you being let go from the company. And I think that this is an important lesson that all of us are learning this year, and I'm definitely seeing a trend in all types of employees taking a lot of ownership in maintaining work-life balance and making sure that their job doesn't take up a majority of their life, which I personally love. If you guys have been following me in the past 2 months, you know that I have been taking a lot of intentional action to make sure that I'm building a consistent and disciplined lifestyle that aligns with the type of woman that I want to be. And this was just another aligned action that I unfortunately was not expecting at all to come my way. But I guess now I can look at it as a pleasant surprise. When something like this happens in your life and it makes you feel like you have officially hit rock bottom, you have a pivotal choice to make in this type of moment. You have the ability and the freedom in this moment to make a choice that comes next that will put you either in the right direction that you're supposed to go or keep you stagnant. I know I'm personally taking the next few days to really reflect on what I want for the rest of my life and make sure that whatever opportunity I take next really aligns with what I know I'm supposed to do. I'm really excited to see what comes next. I actually already have a couple of opportunities lined up, which I'm super grateful for, but I definitely want to make sure that I'm making the right decision for whatever comes next, because this past decision that I made obviously was not the best one that I should have taken on, but we live and we learn, and I'm super excited because I feel like the world is my oyster at this point. Like, I have the freedom to be able to make a really, really important decision, and that's not something that I'm taking lightly in any way. I will be sharing about this process because I think that it helps to be able to share and be able to connect with people who are also going through it. So if you are also going through something like this, feel free to send me a message. Let's talk about it. I've been talking with so many people over the past day, and it has helped a lot. So if anything, make sure that you reach out to your support system and do not try to take on this alone. It is very important for you to be supported, especially during a time like this.
everybody's getting laid off these days. There's a stat that says that one out of every 4 Americans are laid off, and they have been laid off for the last 6 months. So that just goes to show what a recession that we're currently in.
All right, well, breaking fuck the news. Good morning. It is being reported that unemployment surged to 62,075 in the month of July, the highest it's ever been since the pandemic. For the reasons why unemployment is so high, you kind of guessed it. Yeah, federal layoffs. And the second reason is going to shock the shit out of you because it shocked the shit out of me. AI displacement. Yeah, people are losing their jobs because corporations are now using AI for like tech jobs because they no longer need people. Welcome to the 21st century.
And see, that's the thing about AI. Yeah, I mean, there are good ways that you can implement AI, but at the pace that it's continuing to evolve, it's hard for any given individual to keep up with the new trends when it comes to AI. So once you actually learn one piece of a way to work with it, it's already 5 steps ahead, right? So you never actually feel like you're catching up. You always feel like you're falling behind because there's always new implementation. So it makes it that much more difficult to actually keep up with the trends with AI, which makes it that much more hard to be able to learn how to actually implement it on a daily basis to use it in your benefit.
Here we are. Okay. My name is Chelsea Roller. I am 30 years old, and I just got laid off by a company who I've been with my entire career, whole 13 years. I'm not looking at this layoff as a negative. Was I in my feels? Did I have my moment of sadness? Yes, absolutely. Was out of the blue, expected, and the way things went down, I would say, probably weren't the most ideal. It wasn't handled with a lot of kindness, which is unfortunate, but incredible support with my boyfriend and my parents and my grandparents. And I was talking to my grandpa, and he had this really enlightening thought of, this is a graduation. You spent 13 years at the company. You were in school for 13 years. 13 is a very special number to me, which we can get into more later. I've graduated from this time in my life. I've graduated from this company. And now I have 13 weeks because I've been with the company 13 years. Their severance package was 1 week for each year I've been with the company. So I get 13 weeks severance, which is incredible. Why am I telling you guys? Why am I talking to nobody at this point? I am here to create a little journal for myself and to find some accountability partners, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. I'm sure some of you guys are out there. It's really just to track this 13-week journey. I've never been granted a journey like this before. 13 weeks is a blessing. I started working when I was like 13 years old. Actually, I do believe I was 13 years old when I started working. 13 is a really big, meaningful number to me, honestly. It really is. I was born on the 13th. 13 was my favorite number growing up. There's just so many things around 13 that I gravitate towards and everything like that. Taylor Swift, shout out, because I know 13 is very special to you too. I was with the company 13 years. I got 13 weeks severance because I was been with the company 13 years, kind of go hand in hand. But also my letter that let me know I was let go on the 13th as well. So there are a lot of 13s adding up that I really just can't ignore. So I'll also be exploring that in my 13 weeks. So we will see what happens there. I've never been given an opportunity like this before. When I was 13 years old, I started working, and I've worked ever since. I danced every time I was out of school, and I would work at my dance studio. And as soon as I was able, I got a job. I worked full-time when I was in high school. And then I graduated, I went to college, and I worked full-time in college. So I've never not worked full-time. So this 13 weeks is going to be very interesting for me. I'm a busybody, so that's also going to be really interesting. I don't know if I'm going to completely fill my schedule, but am I also going to give myself that space to breathe? I'm sure I'm going to find the balance over the course of these 13 weeks. What am I going to do in these 13 weeks? I'm going to do one mental health thing for myself every day, one physical health thing for myself every day,
Probably gonna be a lot more than just one, honestly, because I love running. I always do that every day anyways. But I'm also probably gonna do lots of classes, working out. My boyfriend's a trainer. He already trains me. So, you know, I'm probably gonna end up doing like 3 a day, but you know, give myself grace. We'll just say 1 a day. I'm gonna do something that makes me happy. I love to cook. I love to cook. Truly love to cook. We come from a household that food is love. We go on vacation, we bring food back to share that experience and that culture with our family. So I work out so much, but food is something I'll be doing every day. That's probably gonna be my thing that makes me happy. I'm sure I'll figure out other things that make me happy too and start to do those. And then also do one thing that makes somebody else happy, whether it makes their day, whether it just puts a smile on their face, whether it's somebody you love or somebody you don't even know. Will I share that? Probably not. Just mentally for myself, I'm gonna know I wanna do something. And especially for those who show up and support you every day, I think it's really important to just give them a little bit of extra love, especially when you have more time to do so. I think showing up for them in ways that you haven't before, I think is really important. And then the last thing, of course, so when that 13 weeks comes to an end, I can actually do something. What that something is, I don't know, but create momentum. So that will be my last thing, is create momentum. Whether it is I'm applying every day, whatever that looks like. For corporate, if I choose to go back that route, opening my own business. I have some things in the works. I've never had an opportunity to actually believe in myself and do this. And this might be, you know, the universe's push of saying, do it. Try, fail forward, fail fast, just keep doing it. So we'll see what 13 weeks has to hold. Week 1, let's go. Week 1, day 1.
Y'all, I think I'm about to get fired. Because they just put a random meeting on my calendar with HR. Girl, I know what that means. Just get it over with. Like, just text it to me.
Is experiencing a moment of significant change. So this has required us to manage the business more tightly, focusing on billability. So we in the other sectors have been working through efforts to increase that billability to reach FY26 billability targets. And so we're continuously evaluating or your location, or the expertise, or the years of experience, right? And so the decision is not made lightly by the leaders in the health account, but at this time, we're moving forward with your formal severance notification detail. And so now I am going to have Adam discuss the next steps, right? And for
would be on August 18th, which would be 10 business days from today. You are eligible for a severance payment, which is calculated based on your role and your tenure with the organization. And is because of this action, your access will be shut off tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time. So if there are any personal files,
please continue doing what you're doing, because
Doesn't matter if you've been with the company 10 years or 13 years. Once that AI implementation comes into that workforce and they start weighing out the benefits of each, do I pay this employee $50,000 to $100,000 a year? Or do I pay thousands of dollars less to implement this AI and save me thousands of dollars for the year? I mean, that's what we're just up against, man. So we gotta find ways to be able to work with these AI implementations in our own favor, because this workforce is starting to become ugly.
In the event that you have the luxury of not being able to keep up with the state of the American economy, I apologize in advance, but I gotta be the one to put you on. If you want to remain ignorant, by all means scroll. But after this portion of the video, it's all facts, baby. All facts. All right, getting straight into it. We're going to be discussing the recession indicators as of August 2025. All right, and the information that I'm going to be giving to you is coming from the Washington Post. The name of the article is Long-Term Unemployment at Post-Pandemic High, Straining Workers and Economy. So I took a decent amount of notes from this article, so excuse me in advance, apologies in advance if I'm looking down a lot, but let's just get straight into it, right? So as of August 2025, 1 out of every 4 worker in the United States is unemployed and has been unemployed for at least half a year, right? This is a number that economists say is only seen during periods of economic turmoil. The first indication is employers have frozen hiring because of all of these tariffs that are being imposed by the Trump administration, as well as these policies that are crippling businesses, American businesses. They have frozen hiring. They're trying to wait everything out. They're trying to see the final effects of all of these tariffs and these policies. The second indication is layoffs are rising. Weekly claims for unemployment benefits or insurance has reached its highest level since October 2021. All right. The third indicator is 1.9 million Americans have been unemployed for at least 27 weeks, right? This is the first time in 4 years that there are more unemployed people in the United States than there are jobs. Now, this is the 5th recession indication. The unemployment rate has exceeded 25%. It is officially at 25.7%. Now, this has only happened 3 times since 1950, and it has always happened after a recession. After, not before. The first time that this happened was for 1 month, June 1983, after an inflation-fueled recession. The second time was for an 8-year stretch following the 2009 Great Recession. And the third time was for 1 year and a half after the COVID-19 pandemic. All right. And now we're facing that again. Just to make it very clear, those of you who voted for this man to be elected, for him to be in office, you voted for an administration that has not only been imposing policies that has been crippling American businesses, but tariffs that have been crippling the American economy, to the point where there has not only been massive layoffs, but these American companies that are either struggling to keep their doors open or are so money hungry that where they want to keep their pockets full have frozen hiring. Okay, they have frozen hiring. For there to be more unemployed people than there are jobs available in this country, that says a lot. That's absolutely alarming. But remember, y'all voted for this. Y'all voted for this. All you red states, all you red people, all you MAGA people, y'all voted for this. Now, let me introduce another issue with all of this, right? Studies have found that workers who are unemployed long-term are less likely to find jobs than others, right? Compared to others. And it's not because they don't want to find a job, okay? But understand, once you've become unemployed long-term, you start to lose connections. You start to lose contact. Not only that, your skill set starts to be less valued, not because you haven't put in the work, because you haven't been working. So the growing field, and understand most fields are growing with each season, you're losing touch. You're not there. You're not present. So you're not able to keep up with the times. So when you are applying for jobs and they're asking for certain skill sets, you don't have it available because you don't have the experience. And God help you. God be with you if you are a younger worker or a recent graduate, a recent high school graduate or a recent college graduate, because you're going to have it harder than anybody else. You have it harder than anybody else. Considering just for entry-level jobs, they want you to have a minimum of 3 years experience. Good luck. Now I'm going to share with you some of the testimonies that have been submitted to this article that has been published by the Washington Post, okay? This is the first one. I have 15 plus years in IT. I thought I should be able to step in any job, said Steve Beal, 47 years old, who has been unemployed since March 2024. When he was laid off from a 6-figure job at Best Buy's corporate office in Minnesota. But so far, I've applied to at least 300 jobs, and it's all rejections. Even with referrals, networking, resume services, I haven't gotten anywhere. This is the next submission. Felicia Enriquez, a paralegal in Los Angeles, lost her job in July 2024. In the 14 months since, she's applied to hundreds of openings without any success. Local government jobs have dried up. Makes sense considering all of these federal layoffs. And even temp agencies are coming up empty, she said. Her unemployment benefits $400 a week, ran out in February, and she's 6 months behind rent. So far, Enrique's landlord has been understanding, but she worries about what will happen to her and her 16-year-old daughter when that goodwill runs out. Already, she's relying on food stamps to buy groceries. She says it's getting harder the longer it gets. That's the vicious part. At the beginning, when you lose your job, you have money saved up, you have unemployment, things are okay. But when that runs out, then you really have to worry. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, the unemployment rate isn't skyrocketing. It isn't jumping to crazy numbers. However, the job market has frozen. It has completely frozen. It's at a standstill. It's stagnant, which is just as worse as if the unemployment rate was skyrocketing, because nobody's getting hired. If nobody's getting hired, no income is being made. It's not being generated. You understand? And we have an administration that's over here more worried about paying tribute to one individual than actually fixing the fucking state of the American economy. The American economy that's in the state that it's in because of all of these fucking policies and these tariffs. And that concludes your update on the state of the American economy as of August 2025. Do what you will with that information. And why I'm just now noticing that I went throughout this entire video without posting not one screenshot or any of my sources. So here is the screenshot of the head of the article. I don't know why the picture's not shrunken the way that I did, but fuck it, we ball. Anyway, you can see the title up top, so you can go and check for yourself. You could go and fact check for yourself. But the article is found on the Washington Post. Yeah.
Make sure to drop a blue heart if you made it to the end. Till next time.